Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, traders and investors. Okay, good to see you here. Alex from MarketWise Asia over here. Okay, so thank you so much for being here and being on time today. Okay, if you can hear me loud and clear, please say a hi to me in the chat box. Okay, all right. So the chat box is open to everyone, and I can see that people are starting to stream in already. So just say a hi to me. Okay, I really appreciate that. Okay, just say a hi just to make sure that everything is good, everything is well. You can hear me, you can see, okay, the screen. Okay, I suppose you guys can see the screen right now, the missing puzzle to the property investment journey. Hello, Yap. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Anikan Chua. Hello, Koi. Good to see every one of you here. I hope you guys already have your dinner. So the timing, it is just nice, 8 p.m. So today's session, it is a little bit different, all right? Not the usual stock market stuff, not the usual equity stuff. Instead, it is more on the investment on the property, okay? How many of you here are already, okay, property investment, are in property investor already? Just type, okay, number one, you have residential, industrial, or even co-living, okay? Just type number one in the comments just to let me know, okay? Anyone? If nobody, it is fine. So nobody can just type zero, then this webinar, it is perfect for you. All right, okay, you can see that Lao, okay, your Ju is one. If nothing, okay, have not started into property investment, okay, just type zero, it is fine as well. And this webinar is perfect for you. All right, Anikan, thanks. Okay, one homestay. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Anybody else? Right now, we have more than 53 people in the room right now. Okay. Okay, so you're zero. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so tonight, all right, it's a very special session. Okay, so tonight, Ernie will be sharing with you how to unlock the 2024 co-living model and how to generate more than $1,200 per month. Okay, in cash flow in just 4 weeks. Okay, just to let you know, today you learn how to scale your property journey, just like how Ernie did with more than 400 plus co-living units, and why actually capital isn't a barrier, and how to use OPM, other people's money, okay, all right, to invest in the property. And also, of course, Ernie will share with you real strategies to create a predictable cash flow and to achieve, okay, your live stream. All right. So for those who do not know Ernie or are not so familiar with Ernie, right, okay, just to do a very quick introduction of Ernie, okay. All right, Ernie is a loving husband, okay, to Jeline, and a father to two wonderful daughters. Alongside Jeline, he is the co-founder and the driving force behind Multiply and Bespoke Habitat, which is a co-living operator. And Multiply itself is a property education company that empowers students with a focus on teaching them how to build cash flow by leveraging other people's resources and scaling up. And Ernie has achieved remarkable success, moving from living in a 3-room HDB flat, okay, to owning 2 landed property with his wife. And tonight, Ernie will be sharing insights into how individual Singaporean and permanent resident, okay, PR, can scale up their property portfolio in co-living space even with limited resources. And his journey has been featured in prestigious media outlets like CNA, the South China Morning Post, okay, and other news channel, and showcasing how he managed to build an 8-figure business while overseeing more than 450 properties in Singapore. Okay, so without much further ado, okay, I'll just invite Ernie on stage right now. Ernie, are you there?
Hello, hey, hello. Good to see
Yep.
everybody. Good evening to you.
Yep, so if you guys can hear Ernie loud and clear, okay, just type letter E in the comments just to check. All right, so CJ is asking, are we able to watch the recording for tonight? Yes, it will be recorded. So if you already recorded, right, so we'll send the link by tomorrow night. So you'll receive the replay link by tomorrow night, okay? All right, fantastic. So while we are waiting for more people to stream in, right, okay, in fact, can I just check, right? How many of you here, this is the first time, okay, you are hearing Ernie online here, okay? You have never seen before, you have never heard him speak before, okay? just type letter 1 in the comments so that we know, okay, who are the strangers to Ernie. Yeah, and how he can help you in your property journey, okay? All right, fantastic. So there are quite a number of you. This is the first time hearing Ernie tonight, right? So fantastic. So before we get into today's session, right? So many of you guys are not so familiar with Ernie, right? So maybe you can have a small chit chat, okay, to have a backdrop story and how so-called how Ernie actually go into property investment, a short so-called introduction, okay? Maybe we can just have a chit chat right now, Ernie, okay? So let's maybe we can ask you a few questions first, okay? For those who want to know more about property, right? So actually, Ernie, so when do you actually start your property journey? Because I myself, okay, like for example, I'm more familiar with stocks, right? I started like more than 10 years ago, like 2013. Okay, how about you, Ernie?
I started in 2009. All right,
2009, I see.
the first unit I bought it is my HDB. I guess most of the people started with HDB. Then to find the ways. So in 2009, when I first got my HDB house, I really know that, hey, I really want to focus into my property investment journey, but I didn't know what is the right way to do. So I've been doing the so-called saver model. Saver model meaning is to work hard, save hard, and then I go and buy more properties from there. I noticed that I couldn't scale. So that was a time that I start to know, hey, this is maybe not the right methodology. So I decided to find ways. Then I start to scale over the period of time from one HDB to two condo and one HDB. Then I move into my landed. Then my wife got her landed. So we let go of our condos and our HDB.
I
So that's
see.
how we eventually scale. And of course, in terms of the business angle, then we work on the co-living business as in one of the strong aspects for us.
I see. So actually, there are many so-called investment kind of a runway. Like for example, can invest in stocks, other, for example, even Rolex or art pieces or property. So why do you actually choose property?
No problem. So in my space, right, I was very heavily influenced by Robert Kiyosaki.
Mm,
So I attended his program, listened to his books, podcasts, and everything. So I was very heavily involved into the way of how he teach. And because of him, I dropped off I didn't go to NTU because of his book. So I was very intrigued about learning about how to go into real estates. So that's how my first interest came in.
yeah,
Then still learning the journey itself, I also noticed there's a few things that's always happening in the economy, which is inflation, things that I cannot control on. So then I want to find the best assets class that can actually ride on inflation. Because if not, my money will get weaker and weaker over the period of time. But I noticed that, hey, no, actually properties turn the other way around. Properties and inflations are the best friend. The highest
mm,
the inflations are actually on the individual as a property investors, I'm actually very happy. Because every time, I go kopitiam, and then I buy kopi, suddenly from 150 kopi change to 160, I will actually go back and celebrate with my wife and I say, hey, maybe a bit hot already because inflation kick in. So it's very different perspective how economy can actually helps the property segment. That's how I slowly get interested and eventually like property investment.
I see. So out of these so many years inside in the investment property journey, right? So which year is actually the turning point for your property investment journey, actually?
Ah, good question. So that was in 2017, I would say. So then before, so 2009 to 2017, I've been buying properties here and there, but I couldn't scale. I only managed to buy like up to 5 properties, 3 residential, 2 overseas, and I totally stuck. I cannot scale anymore because I've been using the wrong methodology, using my own money, and I couldn't scale because I have limited resources. And that was a time that I started to understand about how to use OPM through Robert Kiyosaki teaching. So that was a year that changed my belief system. And then I started to see, hey, how can I apply it in Singapore? And when I start to apply, that was a changing year that I start to scale. So then I start to buy like 10 over properties in a year. So I keep scaling over the period of time.
I
And
see. This is
mm,
interesting because a lot of people also like get stuck. For me, for example, so think that we always have to use our own money to buy into property and such. So I believe tonight's sharing session will be pretty insightful. Okay. So also want to ask you, right, okay,
right.
I see that you also so-called started the business with your wife Jeline, right?
Mm,
So you guys are working together in this property business together, and how is the journey like actually?
yeah.
As a wife and husband together in this business.
So in the journey, especially for couple and as a couple, it is a super blessing things that if the couple can be aligned in the journey. I would say this thing is because it's definitely not easy to find the alignment. In the beginning of the part of my journey, I also have my challenge to be aligned with her, or perhaps you find that I cannot align with her also. So there's always that kind of frictions.
Mm.
So over the journey, then we start to notice that, hey, actually, what is our ultimate goal? So in the end, we actually managed to do it very well in 2018 period. Then we start to have alignment, and then we start to do business together, which is we set up our business, and then scaling from 5 figures to 6 figures to 7 figures to 8 figures. She has been there to see all the growth together with me, and we are working very closely. But this year, she decided to make a choice. But it's a good thing that she have a choice to make, where she stepped down a fair bit to support my elder girl PSLE. She
Okay.
told me and said, hey, Da, I don't want to have any regrets that I couldn't support my elder girl. I said, no problem. As long as if you decided to make a choice and the choice can be done, then why not just do it? Yeah, so she stepped down this year. That's why in my space, in the property space, a lot of friends has been asking me, hey, where is my wife? I say, no, this year she decided to step down for a bit so that she can really help. Right, just 2 more weeks, then it's over already.
Yeah. So this is always the scary journey for parents, the PSL year.
No
Okay.
problem. I let her do what she need to do, and if she's happy about it, then that's my role, is to support her in the journey.
Mm. And of course, we know that actually you are doing the co-living business now. So when do you actually, start to like change to doing a co-living business? And how many years really are you in this co-living business?
I started in 2019, and that was the second point of important years for me. So you see, I've been buying properties, right? I've been buying some resi. I also bought industrial and commercial over the period of time. So in 2019, right, I received a news and I learned from the bank that I cannot actually take out equity loans from my commercial and industrial property because I park it under investment holding as an
Mm.
entity itself. So then I asked my bankers, right, hey, then how can I take out more good debts out of the property? Then this banker told me that, hey, it's because you need an operating business. If you don't have operating business, those properties that you have, you cannot really refinance. You cannot gear up and take out equity loans from it. So that was a changing point that I know that, oh, then I should have built up my operating business in order for me to move forwards. So in 2019, then I start to think, which area I can go in property space one. Then I chanced upon this co-living, and I decided to go all in to build up. So I went in to build the first unit, and then in the second year, we built about 30 over 40 units. Then we on the third year going, then we built about hundreds over units. Until now, we have near about 500 each already. Correct. So
I
we
see.
continue to scale on since 2019.
Yeah. So since your business has grown very big, so is this your only business in Singapore right now?
I will say we have expanded our business not only in Singapore, we also in Malaysia now. We have in JB. So we also see the rise of the demand for the Malaysian that is all traveling to JB to stay in JB so that they can work in Singapore. So there's also a demand craze for room rental in JB. So we also expanded there. And we also have our property assets also in UK. So
Mm.
we are in these three countries at this moment.
So for JB is also more into co-living.
Yes, correct. We work with developers. We took over the whole buildings and then we optimize the space and then we get people to come in to stay so that they can commute to Singapore every day.
I
Mm.
see. Okay. So very big business. So in order to manage such a big scale of properties, so many properties, right? How many staff or colleagues do you actually have, and to run these companies and all the properties?
Oh, I remember when I first started, just my wife and myself, we one of each two of us can manage about up to about 20 to 30 units, not a problem. But when we scale up, to near 500 plus, I actually have about 130 plus full-time colleagues that is actually with me, ranging from um, almost 24/7 customer care service, then followed by handover, takeover specialists. Then we have the sales team, we have the renewal teams, we have the maintenance. We are vertical integrated. Integrated, we are the only players that is doing co-living, vertical integrated through maintenance teams like the cleaning specialists, aircons, handiworks. So it's all 100% in-house. We don't do outsource so that we can manage the space that we want, and so that when we manage the property maintenance.
Yeah, and more of the quality control, I suppose, right?
Yes, correct,
Yeah.
correct, correct. It is a game propositions that we really wants to be in this space, and that is where we continues to grow and we are able to scale up.
Okay, so thanks Ernie so much for sharing. So I believe you guys already have some understanding and knowledge of what Ernie does. Okay, and I believe you guys can also know that actually Ernie really know his stuff and is really experienced in the property investment, especially in the co-living arena over there. So without much further ado, okay, I'll pass the stage to Ernie right now. We have a good crowd right now. So today he will share with you, okay, unlocking the 2024 co-living model and generate more than 1,200 per month of cash flow in just 4 weeks. So later we'll have a Q&A session. So yeah, I'll pass the stage to Ernie first, and I'll come back later. Okay, thanks, Journey. Thanks, Ernie. See you later in a while.
Thank you so much. All right. Hey, hello everyone. All right, it's good and having the honors to come into MarketWise and to share a bit of my journey in this community. All right. Hey, can I just also check for any ones that perhaps maybe a bit of interested in properties also know me one, okay? So that I can do some market survey. If you know me or see me, whether is it in social media or so, can you just type 2? At least I know that, hey, whether we are doing a good exposure enough for our business. That will be helpful. Hey, good. Hey, I got people type 2 and not bad. So that's quite encouraging. Hey, I got a few, not bad. So thank you very much for really seeing a bit of the survey areas. But I also know that today, most of the crowds are usually in terms of the stocks, in terms of these areas. But today, I take this opportunity to share with MarketWise what I've been doing. All right, so today this topic I want to share is called the missing puzzles to the property investment journey. All right, before I kickstart, I just want to make sure that I do some simple disclaimer. Whatever journeys that sharing later on, and you feel that you want to do something, please seek for your expertise advice before you take any actions. Do your own due diligence, and I want to make sure that today my sharings is really pure sharings for you. And I also want to set my stage correctly. There's no right or wrong, no judgment. I'm just sharing with you the truth, and 100% is my truth. My methods of doing might sound unconventional, but that is really how it helped me and changed my life. Same thing, every time when I speak to my friends or my community folks, I also ask them about this thing. All right, whatever journey that you are in now, and if you feel that the financially angles are not doing well, then perhaps the formulas that you use in life might not be suitable. All right, so I'm just sharing with you 100% my truth of how I actually do it. All right, I also need your help because in this sharing, instead of one way, I hope that you can give me a bit of energy back just by participate in the typing, so that your energy can actually charge me up in my sharing. Then that will be very two ways learning journey together. Okay, if that works for you, can you just type okay, so that I know that I will definitely have energies being charged by the audience, so that I can continue to share in the space. All right. Hey, thank you so much. All right. Thanks for really typing okay for me. All right, cool. Thank you so much, everybody. Zan, Julia, Vincent, Danny, Desmond. Thank you so much. All right, just a quick introduction about myself. My name is Ernie, and the beautiful ladies that standing beside me, her name is Jeline. We are married. with two kids, 12 and 9. I started my journey in 2009. I eventually, both of us, we achieve our financial abundance through properties itself. We are very focused and very driven into this industry. However, we didn't start off with properties industry first. We are both in sales in the IT world. It's just that we are very passionate about properties, and then we start learning about how to go and scale our property journey. So currently, after selling about 20 over units, we left about 20 plus properties, including residential, commercials, and industrial properties itself. And we manage about 500-ish co-living properties in Singapore, and we are still growing. So I'm very fortunate in my journey because I have a lot of people that come and talk to us. The media start to notice about us, and eventually places like H Props, they talk sharing about our journey, how Bespoke Habitat start to grow, which is our co-living branding. And then also in Tech in Asia, talking about how we scale up, we raise funds, raising capitals, and also Vulcan Post stating that how this Singaporean couple built a profitable co-living startup, all right, even though it's COVID-19 by renting out spare rooms. And of course, like last year, we also shared in The Age talking about what is called assets like investing in co-living. It means that so we shared 100%. Some of the time, sometimes that we do, we can actually make cash flow out of it by not owning a properties from there. All right, so we have a lot of chance to really share our journey with a group of folks. And also in my learning, I also a person that really like financial literacy. However, I always look back and tell myself that, wow, how good if I have a chance to really start learning this journey when I'm much younger. And that's eventually, I also have a chance to show up in the Straits Times, talking about the journey of financial literacy with young minds. How do I actually play with my girls on how to do financial games instead of academic stuff? All right, so I have a chance to share my experience and also attend a lot of Money FM 89.3, talking about the trending, also in CNA 938, and of course, multiple chances to share in Xinmin Daily, the Straits Time, the South China Morning Post, H Props, and many, many more, right? So this is within the shortest period of times to really a quick introduction of what I'm actually doing. But I also want to make sure today sharing is fruitful for you because let's look into options first because there are many options to create cash flow, all right? And of course, at a higher level itself, there are multiple investment opportunity, whether it's in business, properties, or paper assets. I think all are good, all right? It's just on whether how can you build a different assets class and continues to grow over there. To me, I focus a lot in properties. I also focus a lot in business. This is my strength. And the reason why it eventually drawn me to property investment, there is a few main reasons why eventually allowed me to scale up. So over the period of time, I'm very fortunate to go into the space that I'm really passionate about and eventually diversifications within the real estate investment portfolio as of now. So now I have two landed properties, one's under my name and one under my wife's name. We still have about 10 plus industrial properties, 16 plus 16 units of commercial properties, and we manage about 500 co-living units, right? The reason why I decided and got drawn into property investments is because of one thing, all right, because of the word control. I like this thing because in properties itself, right, it is a very stable and very predictable stuff. And I can actually control the buy price, I can control the sell price, the renters, and the tenant profile. Right? This is stable and it's very, very predictable. When it's very predictable, it means, right, I can actually know what is my cash flow by the end of 2024. All right, because this is where I can predict what is my journey. Right, so this is the reason why I dive in deeply. And of course, over the period of time, I also speak to a lot of people. I speak to a lot of people, a lot of property investor. I ask them, hey, what is your belief system? What is really your belief systems in going to properties? All right, and a lot of people will feel that hey, they need a lot of cash to own the properties in order to collect rental as a passive income. Hey, who feel it that way? Hey, if you feel it that way, just type just type me, can, M-E, so that I know that, hey, if this is your belief system. I just want to make sure that, hey, this belief system is actually across the board. Everybody feel it that way. All right. So, hey, I saw some of you type it, Danny, Anakan, Chloe. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So, so, so I want to share with you one thing. Let's go on to my first sharing. Just first one, quick one. All right, everybody take a look, right? In this coin itself, this coin, do we need resources like money to own properties? Definitely yes. So in the coin, there's two phase, right? First phase, you tell me that I need money, which is correct. But the thing is, the next question, if I have to flip it over and ask my next question, is this thing. Hey, there, Ernie, do I have to use my own money? Do I have to, depends on how much money I have in my pocket first before I buy properties? Because the first thing is you need cash, definitely. But what happens if you have a chance to consider using other people's money? Meanings, I definitely need cash, but I can use OPM as a function, other people's money. And does it mean that I speed up the process of going into property one? Yeah, there is a very good chance that you can go in using these methods. And that was one of the changing strategy that I have in 2017 when I know that I'm stuck and I couldn't scale up anymore. I can't be savings throughout and I know that I have a time limitations because banks is no longer going to be helpful to me as my runway is getting shorter and shorter. All right, so this is one thing that I want to share. First thing, property investor belief system perhaps can actually start to stretch a bit, not only looking into how much resources you have as of now, right? And over the period of time, I also noticed one thing. This one you need to participate with me. The property price has skyrocketed since the late. If you take a look at these charts, since 1970s, the property price has been rockets into going the next higher height. And even if there is a crisis here, like 1984, the oil crisis, we have 1997 financial crisis, 2008, the Lehman incidents, and of course, recent COVID 2019. But what is the trend patterns that we see in properties? We see that any crisis that come that went into a dip, but then one thing happened. The next 1 year or so, it went to the next higher height. All right. However, this is a trend that will repeat on. You just keep repeating. But the thing is, now I want to ask everybody this question. Hey, do me a favor, hey, participate with me. All right. Do you think that the property price have moved too fast that your salary no longer incremental, no longer can catch the property price one? I will feel it that way one. If you feel it that way, I just type one so that I know that, hey, then we are aligned. We are aligned. Because a lot of people like property, but they feel that the property price moves so fast, then the salary cannot catch one. Then you feel very chuan, very tired, Wow, I keep chasing. Wow, very good at, wow, this time around, a lot of energy. Thank you. I saw Joseph, Julia, Tay, what, Lynn, Joe. Oh, thank you very much, Desmond. Thank you so much for Marcus. All right, hey, thanks for really giving me energy, Drew. So we are aligned. It's not only you yourself feel it that way. Hey, I also feel it that way. Right? Everybody feel that, hey, the property price moves so fast. So now the thing is, we have options. First is either you use a different strategy to go in, then you go in and ride the wave. Because I did share just now that, properties and inflations are good friends. And we can't let go of inflation. Inflation is always increasing, all right? And with that, then with more properties, then one day, I can actually ride on the inflation rates from there. Second thing, right? Second way, all right, if you want to go into properties, then you can also consider doing a side hustle that can build cash flow and then can actually create a double twin engine for you so that you do not just depend on one source of income, you have another source of income, which is why I feel that this is a game changer for me. That was another perspective, right? So you can design and build another side hustle and create cash flow. The reason why I feel that this thing is really difficult, right? With the residential journey, there's a lot of cooling measure has been coming over. All right, the rising of ABSD costs, the additional buyer's stamp duty, tightening of the total debt servicing ratio, and of course, lowering the LTV, meaning you need to come up with a lot of cash. So buying property is getting more and more difficult because governments is really tightening the whole process. And that, as such, I know we probably needs to pivot and make changes. I like properties. I know the trend is going up. Then how can I do it with so many restrictions that's coming up? And that's where I start to notice in 2019, I came upon the chance of as game changers in the properties. And time have changed, right? That I know that I can actually build properties ATM without a property. Hey, what is property ATM in short? Property ATMs means, right? Can you imagine that you have one ATM machine that is in your house on a stipulated date? There is some cash flow that is popping up, right? So that's the imaginary pictures that I want, the properties ATM. So I want to create as many properties ATM as I can, but with the keyword call without owning a property. So I like to run it like landlords, but I can't keep buying because the authority have ABSD and all these things. They only allowed me to buy one. If not, ABSD will kick in. So this is where I need to start changing. And I want to go into a property to create cash flow without owning a properties. So how can we do that? All right, this is through a method called the rent to rent, R to R. All right, if you want to remember this thing, just type in the chat. It's called R to R, rent to rent. So it means that what if you have a chance that you can actually rent it from the landlords and eventually getting the permissions to lease it out to the subtenants, and you probably runs like a master tenants. All right, and this method we have been running it for years, and this is where the R to R method started coming. So I go to speak to the landlords. I tell the landlords, hey, I'm going to take care of the properties. I want to make sure that every unit itself have weekly cleanings. If there's any issue, I can actually get my handymans to come in, but you give me the permissions, right, to lease it to the subtenants. And the landlord say, yes, okay, Ernie, no problem, go ahead. And I took over it. And this is where I becomes like a landlord now. And I can start renting out to subtenants, and I can create cash flow out of it. But key point is it's only applicable to private property in Singapore and not HDB. All right, key point, not HDB, only at private properties itself. So I start to also understand the business models that's behind, Nelson Rockefeller mentioned about this thing. The secrets to success is to own nothing, but control everything. So I start to understand, actually, who is really doing this kind of model? So Grab is doing it. They don't have a fleet of car. Uber, same thing. Airbnb, same thing. They don't have properties. They are only have a platforms to control everything. It's like Facebook also, Meta. They don't have the best publishing news articles, but they have a lot of people contributing to it. Right, same thing. So I want to go into a sector that what Nelson Rockefeller said. What happened if one day I don't own them, but I can really control it? Right, this is where I start to see the scale and the possibility itself. And looking back, there's also a lot of things when I see the journey of how I grew over the period of time. I feel that there's actually a missing steps in a lot of people properties journey itself. A lot of people wants to go and learn how to do it. Then they will aspire to become a property investor, and hopefully one day they own multiple properties from there. But if you take a look here, there's always a small missing steps. There's always known as property management. All right, this thing is not I say only. If you take a look here, all my properties guru, all the large coaches that I learned from, all start from property management. Like Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad companies founders, or authors of Rich Dad Poor Dad. He have about 15,000 property as of now, but he also begins with property management. Same thing with Brandon Turner, Pickpockets, YouTube's channel founders, have about 3,000 properties. Ken McElroy, who is also the Rich Dad advisor to Robert, has about 20 over thousand property as of now, all started from property management. Last time when he stayed for free, but he helped the landlords to manage property. But they all started from this missing piece, right? This missing piece. And this is where I start to know that because a lot of people They are very scared. Even if I learn really immediately ask you to buy properties, a lot of people are very scared because their experience is low. They don't have high capital commitment, and they felt that what happened if the price goes south and eventually get stuck about this thing, unable to see the property management potential. All right, so this is where I know that, hey, this is the missing part that we probably wants to make sure that everybody know what to do. So I did a quick comparison, right? Whether through traditional property investments versus rent to rent. I've done both. Both are good. It's just that what are the key difference? So in terms of rent to rent, the cash deposit required, the cash components required to go into a rent to rent to create cash flow is very, very low as compared to traditional model. Traditional model, I need a lot of down payment. I need a lot of cash to go in, right? And the returns on investments, the traditional is stable but slow, but R2R is very, very fast. A couple of months, I probably can break even. In terms of taxes, I don't have property tax, I don't have ABSD, I don't have SSD. These are all the taxes that I don't really have to pay. And in terms of rent to rent, it is 100% very, very, very scalable. All right, it took me about 5 years to build about 500 units. And it also means that this have proven it is a very, very scalable model. Right. And so what is really about co-living then? A lot of people will ask me and say, hey, co-living is actually a modern shared housing concept. It's fully furnished, and we also provides the cleaning service, and people can actually just push in their luggage to stay. All right. We didn't rent the whole units. We only rent out the room level. All right. We only rent out the room level. So this is where we actually start doing and do a lot of value-added services. Okay, so what is difference between like hotels and service apartments? All right, there is difference between a co-living space and hotels and the service apartments. Let me give you a high level. Co-living is only applicable for residential properties, and there's a requirements of a minimum stay of a 3-month stay. But hotel license allows a daily stay license, which is why tourisms and all these things, they have to stay in hotel. And service apartments have a 7 days duration minimum. So they caters into people who want to stay here for 1 month or so, then they'll go into service apartments. So every category have different category of market segments that we are actually servicing. So co-living is 100% residential. So for people who want to come in to study in Singapore, like NTU, NUS foreign students, or for working professionals that's coming to Singapore, they will love to come in and stay with us. All right. So that's the difference between different categories of assets. All right. Good questions. So thank you very much. And we are actually attracting a lot of millennials, right? Especially they like the co-living's concept because of they like independence. The co-living space, they also want to foster a lot of relationships and interactions amongst tenants. All right. And people will start to ask me that, hey, then what's the difference between a room rental, normal room rental, versus a co-living room rental? What's the difference? The key difference is this thing. The owners don't stay in the units in co-living space. Most of the traditional room renters, owners stay there, and people don't like their privacy to be intruded, so they don't really like that. But in co-living space, the rental is very flexible, minimum 3 months. It includes Wi-Fi, utilities, furniture, everything is easier. We have the upkeeps of the rooms. We have daily customer care. We are using apps to run it. So this is where the co-living functions start to change, right? And this is where the normal room rental now start to feel not as good as a co-living rooms now. All right, so I want to share with you some of my completed co-living units, just some of the humblest things that we do in my life. All right, so this unit is actually in the western part of Singapore. I caters to a lot of students that study NTU and also people that work in Jurong Island and also at Tuas. So it's just beside the MRT. And what I did is I collected the total rental, $8,700, even until today. I have to minus four expenses, which is the base rent. I have to minus the utilities, the Wi-Fi, and of course the weekly cleaning expenses. So after minusing 4 expenses, this unit give me about $2,500 per month. And I think it's not bad. And this unit is a unit that it don't belongs to me. I just have the rights to use and eventually make it into co-living and create cash flow out of it. All right, so this is one of it. And I also have units that is more centralized at Balestier area. More central part of Singapore, rental collected $8,090, minus all the 4 expenses that I mentioned, which is base rent, utility, broadbands, and the cleaning, weekly cleaning. I left about $2,390. Right, so this is another unit that is at 6-minute walks to MacPherson, targeting people that work in Ubi. Total rental collected about $7,280. Net cash flow about 1,980 per month. All right, and of course, same projects, but I want to share with you. It doesn't mean that same projects will have the same renter. I just purposely pick it up. Different units in the same projects itself. Total rental 7,003. Cash flow about 1,006. So just now it's about 1,009. So this is about 1,006. So it does fluctuate a fair bit. Right, no fixed rates are from there, but it deviates a fair bit from there. All right, so also a unit that is beside West Mall, Bukit Batok itself. This unit is so convenient. The side gate itself, when I open the back of the side gates, I open is 5 meters to NTUC, which is fair price, and followed by directly to the train station at Bukit Batok. So this is where convenience actually attract a lot of people to come and want to stay in this kind of units. So this unit itself give me about $2,000 cash flow after minusing everything. Same projects, but different units, smaller units that I have. This is about $1,350 per month. All right, and this is my first co-living units in 2019, and it's still with me. All right, I'm still managing it. I still have a very good terms with the landlords. We renewed on the second contract, and this is my first co-living units. When the first time I didn't know what to do, it didn't turn out to be the best because it took me 15 days to set up. As compared to now, it took me about 5 working days to set up. So I really speed up the whole process when we know much about the processes. This unit is actually opposite Vivo City. We serve a lot of people that's working in Sentosa and also people working in Shenton because there's a direct bus, 12 minutes to the Anson Road. Right, so this is where we create convenience for them. As of now, the cash flow is about $1,350. I also have units that's at Simei. Same thing, after minusing everything is about 1,007. Also have units that is at Commonwealth, Queenstown, sorry. Our Commonwealth Tower, Queenstown, cash flow about 1,450. And of course, western part of Singapore, that is beside Westgate, collecting about 8,002, cash flow about 1,008 from there. And the whole list can go on, but I will say one thing, right? We continues and my teams continues to service them, right? All right. Hey, if you feel that this is something that we have done correctly, hey, give me some energy, Ken. If you can type awesome, that will be very good. So we manage about 500 plus co-living units as of now. All right. If you think that it's really, really good and it's really cool to have this thing, hey, at least give me some energy. I just type awesome. And I think, hey, not bad. So probably we did something that's correct. All right. So that's how I scale, right? From a 5 figures business to 6 figures to 7 figures to the 8 figures business. That's how I continue to build within a few years' time. Okay, so that's how I do it in a high level. All right, hey, thank you very much. Thanks for really giving me and having this kind of welcoming sense in MarketWise community. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, and so my role is to eventually, I've been sharing a lot of this methodology about building this cash flow methodology. So if each property is itself, I didn't ask for much. And without owning it, you can actually generate about $1,200 per month. Right? Then you probably can ask yourself, hey, then how many properties ATMs do you want it? So this was, I like these properties ATM graphics, right? When my creative directors do up this thing, I'm so very impressed about the whole concept and I really like it because this show a lot like my life, all right? So you got to ask yourself this thing. If every unit is about 1,002, just internally, just think through, hey, how many units do you need to have to give you the choice of what you want to do in your life? For example, if you are earning, I don't know, 7,002, you need about 6 units. And if 6 units, you achieve it, you really do this rent to rent and you have 6 units, you can actually have a choice. You can have a choice to continue to work, or you can continue to build this cash flow plus work. You have a double engine, you can go and buy assets in the long run. It can be done. And if each unit requires only 4 hours per month, meaning 1 week, 1 hour, then how many of you are okay with that, right? How many of you are okay with that? All right, I also saw some of the questions here and there. I will answer on the later part itself, right? So that I can continue to support you. Okay, so if every unit is 1 hour, then you think how many units do you really want? But what happens if you have a chance to be like me, scale to 100 units? Well, then I think probably your life can change. Your life can really change quite a fair bit. This one is really can change, really can change. But if you can't do the hundreds, let's talk about just 10%. If it's 10%, I think it's also not so bad. If 12,000 a month, it means that 1 year is about 144K. We probably have a lot of chance to bring our parents to travel overseas, to give them a different life or experience that they probably never have. And we can probably do that because we have more choices in life. All right, so this is really what about just 10%, 10 units. I think that's cool. But what happens if you just have 1 unit, just 1 unit, 1,002? I think it's also not bad. It can cover your travel expenses, more meals with your families. I think as long as you have cash flow that's being built, your life will change. Your life will change. All right, and it's not only me that I did it. I have a bunch of people that really done it, and a lot of my community members have done it. All right, my community members, I've served quite a number of people, and I see a lot of people have really achieving it. I just want to put out some of the people. I probably think that you might know them. Hey, who know J1? J Tun, right? In this area. Hey, who know J1? All right. Hey, in this space, J should be. Hey, who know J1? If you know, just say yes. At least I know, hey, at least someone that is familiar to you all. So Jay is also into this space. So he also came and then to learn about, hey, learning how to do this thing, how to do this thing. So in the end, Jay actually came in and also invite his friend Alvin, say that, hey, let's come and do this co-living space. I said, no problem. So there are 3 co-living units well, after the learning. So he eventually do me something. He did something for me, and it is not from a request from myself, right? He's 100% do it with a kind gesture. And so this is for you. I just want to share the video with you of what things you have done. So just a quick videos of what you have said. This is one of his units. Let's watch it.
Here we are. Look at this. And by the way, right, I'm from batch 5 of Multiply, and Elvin is from batch 7. Batch 7. And look at this is our project, and we are very excited to show you our co-living project. Come on in. Over here, you can see that this is a very nicely done up room with an awesome view, isn't it? All right, guys, so now you have seen the unit. First and foremost, a massive shout out to Ernie and Jelly for sharing with us the Profify formula. This seriously gives us the confidence to source and to secure as well as staging the unit.
All right, so this video actually quite, he took this video before all the tenants come in. So he said, Ernie, I don't have time with it. Just do a quick video as a gift to you. I say, wow, I'm very appreciative of his gesture, but I'm very happy for him, right? Creating second pipes of cash flow from another source of properties itself. So this is where he and Alvin continue to scale. I also have other people that, for example, like Christina. So Christina also came to my communities itself, and she liked the environments that we have built. And eventually she said that she wants to join Proptiply as a full-time colleague. Indeed, right, she's my colleague now. But before that, he said, before you join, we have requirements, right? 2 requirements, right? First, you must have a co-living unit. Second, you must understand and how to utilize using 100% OPM. Meaning, even if you have money, you cannot use your own money. All right, I want to teach you how you can scale and eventually stack it up and create tons of cash flow. So these are my requirements for my colleagues who join me full times. So there's a question that pop up. Hey, how many colleagues do I have now? I have 130 plus full-time. 130 plus full-time colleagues that's taking care of everything, right? From head to tails, for the education arms, for the co-living arms. I have about 130 plus full-time colleagues, full-time payrolls. Right. So Christina was eventually she actually learns the whole thing and eventually secured the first unit March 2022 by 10 units in February 2023. And eventually this is how she did it. She using the same formulas using the OPM strategy and eventually scale it up. And of course, I also have Jolene, successful MNC professionals. She's been doing sales. However, sales target has been increasing. And they took a picture with Larry, which is the husband, and mentioned that, hey, this is where we begin our property journey with the guidance of two angels at Thomson Plaza, Swenson. All right. She eventually comes to really learn how we do it. We share 100% attendance in 2020 and eventually scale up to 10 over units. As of now, she has about 15 over units, generating cash flow about 26K. All right, we have a lot of testimonials, friends who have made changes in their life, very happy for them. All right, and of course, we also have Mark, ex-business owner, corporate gift company. He have a 4-room flat, but now no more already. He let go and he changed to a private already. Very happy for him. Make changes in life, take actions, and never believe that he actually can build cash flow from multiple properties. He didn't know what is right or wrong. So he comes with an open mind and eventually do and walk on the ground and eventually continue, put on the shoes, walk the ground, and eventually start sharing about a lot of successes within the community after a year, growing to about 20 over properties and still growing. And as of now, generating about 40K plus money cash flow. And things have changed for him. Very happy for him. So a lot of people.
Sorry, Ernie, is it my side or your side? Your voice is a little bit soft. Just now
is
was
it?
quite okay. Now it's a little bit softer now right now.
Oh, hold on. I just want to confirm. I already max one.
Okay, now it's much better. Now it's much better.
No problem. I will
Okay.
just do increase my volume.
Okay.
All right. So this is Mark. And of course, a lot of people come and ask me and say, hey, is it because these people, they work professionally, that's why they can easily scale up? I say, no, the methodologies are the same. Whether you are young or you are in the middle age itself, age doesn't really means a lot. As long as the methodologies you apply the right way. Even this young chap, 23 years old, Brandon, very impressive. As of now, he have 8 co-living units generating about 10Ks. He also bought his first private properties in 2023 last year. All right. He also penned down his journey on how he started the journey into his social medias. He shared with a lot of people, keep coming back to serve, including serving the community, share with them, hey, all these things is really, really doable. So a lot of people start to understand, hey, actually properties have different aspects, especially building cash flow. There's different ways of how it can be done. All right. So he continues to serve and continues to meet up with communities members, including workout sessions, we meet ups, we gathers and we share ideas. Right. So whether you are young or whether you are in the middle age or whichever age you are in, it is still 100% doable. You just have to understand the methodology of how to use OPM plus co-living in Singapore space. This is where you can generate cash flow out of it. I also have people like Wilson, Tricia, same thing, attended in 2021. So now they have 6 co-living units, 2 privates, and also in overseas properties, generating about 16,000 cash flow as of now. So they also pen down their life journey, and I encourage them to do that, because this is when they look back in their life, they probably take some good move on what is really done correctly. So they also come back to this event space to share as a senior and continues to share, to let all the communities members to understand what can be done. Right, same thing like Niner, have 5 units as of now, 15,000 over cash flow, father of 4. And of course, like Richard, now I have 3 co-living units. I have Dixon, 4 co-living units after the boot camps and all this thing. And of course, Waity. And eventually we have a lot, right? If you have a chance, go to our Google review, key in Proptiply, you probably read some of the Google review about us. And of course, you got to hopefully picture yourself that one day, if you think that this is something that's doable, then you got to picture yourself that, hey, I can actually scale 10 units in a year. If this is something that you think that can be done, then you got to picture yourself, what about having 10 units in a year? Many people who have done it, And of course, this is really, really 100% doable. All right, then hopefully everybody can celebrate the success of your 10 units. All right, there's also some people will start coming to me and say, oh, then what is the potential risk? Every business have their own risk. I would say there's slow tenants acquisition. There are periods that people are scared that, hey, what happens if tenants don't come and stay? Then what happened? Then the price that I want versus the price that the market give it to me, there's also a gap. And of course, the government implementations, what happens. But I want to give you my experience, right, about this journey. First of all, Singapore is actually a human capital country. We don't have natural resources. We only have human capital, meaning we have a lot of working professionals coming to Singapore. And when working professionals coming to Singapore, they need a place to stay. So I'm actually in the needs business, not in the wants business, in the needs. Where shelter in the Maslow hierarchy, I'm in the very, very basic needs. So I know that no matter what happens, there are people that require a shelter, right? And we are such a big human capital country, I can continue to scale my business. So giving you some statistics that I have, as of today, I went into updates. I have about 98.1% tenanted status, meaning that 1.9% are empty, 98.1% are occupied. So I close about 70 to 80 rooms weekly. My leases are usually 3 months and above. And during this period, in 2019, something happened, which is COVID. Actually, COVID is a new game changers for us in the co-living space, because there are still people that's so-called work from home. Not a lot, but at least maybe 1 day or 2 days work from home. And people who, as a working professional, they want a better environment, better facility, a good swimming pool, gyms, and all this thing. They want a better living environment. This is where the business start to pick it up, all right? Because COVID actually saved and give us the best boost in our business. And of course, hiring, recently, latest news, hiring is coming back again. So these are as long as hiring is coming, we also have students in big school like NTU, NUS. We have a lot of foreign students that require a space to stay. This is where we continue to service them. All right. So, and this is some of my data, right? A quick data shout out to you. So in 2021, I ran out about 53 rooms in July. July is my peak period. It's my peak period. Then I ran out 2022, 82. Then July 212. And recently 315 rooms. Hey, not bad. So it actually start to pick it up as a growth rates. And of course, many articles has also been sharing there's a growing demands for co-living space, right? Because new living habits for the younger generation, people are more intrigued to rent than to own for the longest run. All right, so this is also a good things that trends have changed, and we want to continue to support them. All right, even the Asia itself, there's a boom in co-living space in Asia. And there's a lot of spillover effects, and we want to continue to go in. And of course, with property cooling measure, it could actually increase demands for rental housing. This is all statistics. It's not Ernie say, but it's just statistics in the markets. And in terms of when I first started this journey, I still remember, I did share with Alex saying that, hey, when I first started, right, I didn't go into co-living first. I went into investing first. So I invest in my properties for a period of time using the OPM strategy. I grow. Then suddenly I tell all my friends that, hey, I'm going to co-living. And a lot of people tell me, hey, don't be silly, Ernie. Don't go into this space. Then I say, yeah, I just very passionate about properties. I started this journey. So first year, we have 3 units. Then second year, we have about 30 over units. Then by end of third year, we have about 100 over units. On the fourth year, we have about 300 units. And this year, we have about 500. So if you start to see of how we scale, and even the last 3 months, I added 28 units in my portfolio. So it means that this is really just repetitions, right? You just have to make sure the steps are correct. You just have to keep repeating it, right? Property journey is a very, it's a very boring journey. There's no drama hooks. It's all about physical shelter. People come and stay. You collect rental. You repeat and rinse, right? There's no drama hooks in the whole process. It's really very straightforward. And that's where I continues to pass down my knowledge, right? And eventually start to grow a community supporting about 1,000 over people as of now. And this is where I'm very proud of what my teams have done, giving me the opportunities to share my knowledge to everybody. Okay, so this is really a quick sharing session for today, and I really appreciate that everybody dial in, and I really hope that this sharing is good for you. I hope feel that this sharing is okay one. Give me some feedback if you say that it's okay. Just type okay. That will be a kind words from you, so that I'll be able to share really what I've been doing in my life journey. All right, so this is what I've been doing. All right, every day, eat, breathe, everything is all about property. Hey, thank you so much, everybody. All right, for people who really wants to go into find another sessions to really understand what I really do in details, like what is the cost involved, how to get started and all these things, what is OPM secrets, how to use OPM even we have limited resources. I actually have a in-depth sharing session that is catered for MarketWise community one. All right, I will go into the co-living numbers, how to search for profitable co-living units, and then chart your roadmaps to kickstart your journey. We plans for 2 days sharing, just 1 hour, 30 minutes or 2 hours. You'll be able to understand more in details, right? Because today, I promise, Alex, hey, today is just about sharing. I just want to make sure this sharing is beneficial for everybody and to perhaps also understand what is co-living first. And there is a main reason why suddenly in 2019, I decided to change into co-living. There must be a reason behind. And this reason, it is such a big reason that I decided to stop buying properties and go into co-living because I want to build a very profitable operating business. All right. And in the long run, I want to buy properties using this operating business. And you will start to see magics going on after you can take out equity loans and all these things will change. All right. So that's also the reason why I eventually do that. Okay. So for people who are keen, you can just sign up for the link first. That I think is a Zoom. You just click on the Zoom itself. I'm going to share a bit more on the next Tuesday and also next Thursday, 7:30 to 9:30, just 2 sessions, just for MarketWise community. This is something that we're going to work for you. All right. Okay, no problem. Hey, I want to come in to support the Q&A, right? No problem. Someone has said you just came in. You hope that the recording will be shared. I think, yes, Alex, I think there will be recording shared, right?
Yes, so we'll send you the recording tomorrow. Yeah, so via Zoom. So you'll get the Zoom email and you'll get the link inside for the recording replay. Okay?
No problem. All right. Hey, I answer some of the question in the group chat first. Okay.
Okay.
Desmond asked, hey, do you provide the furniture as well? Yes, we do. There is a standard of furnitures that we provide one. Like every room must have at least a wardrobes, beds, chair, and a writing desk. These are the standard items. So once the standard items are there, we are good enough to provide them. And questions on Spencer. Hey, how long is your, I guess it's a contract with the property's owners? 3 years. There's a logics and the science. There's a math logics. Why is it 3 years? This one can also share more in the in-depth sharing. All right. Then Grace, are there times where it is not rented out? Yes, there are. Confirm there are one. So like as of now, I have about 1.9% that is vacant. But I have 98.1% that's occupied. So if once we hit 80 over percent, we are quite okay on. Right. In fact, at 98.1, we are very blessed in our life. We are very, very blessed in our life. Okay, so now we are 98.1. Yeah, I see these are the few questions I have. And how one get the properties one need to find? Yeah, Julia, there is, in the sharing itself, there will also be sharing a bit. You probably also have find ways to go and find the properties that will guide their guidelines, their journey that what it can be done. So these are things that we can do also. All right. So you can speak to, there's ways that you can reach out to the real estate agent, and eventually from there seek the owner's help and see whether we can do in the co-livings. These are
Ernie, there are also some question in the Q&A tab. Maybe you know, take a look at the Q&A tab.
Give me a second.
Yep.
Cool. I probably have missed it. My bad. Okay. No problem. All right. Peng say, how and where to rent units you manage? Oh, there is platforms that we can find. One of the easy way out is to find agents to work with us, and then reach out to agent and see whether the owners are okay to do co-livings. This is the straightforward methods, right? And low, say, how many staff managing all the 500s? I have about 130 plus staff full time. It's because my volumes, this is only in Singapore. I haven't includes Malaysia. My Malaysia property is also inclusive, UK also inclusive. That's the reason why I need so many people. Yeah, when we hit our 8 figures business, yeah, that's where we use technology and all this thing, it start to grow. So we bring in more people to grow this business. Okay, JT, what is the initial capital? How many percent can we take out of the gross profits? I would say within a year, I usually break even within a year, which is good. 100%, I take back. Capital itself, that will be shared in the upcoming session, which is on next Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be able to share in details. Okay. Peng say, I'm more interested to find co-living rooms to stay. Okay, how and where to find? No problem. You can just search. If you really want, you can search Bespoke Habitat. We are there, so you can actually find us from there. All right. Gray say, which part of Malaysia? JB. Yes, JB is our key cornerstone now. Is our key cornerstone. And this is where we continues to grow it from there. Okay. Then hold on. SG Lee, I have questions. Is all viewing and closing via app only, no physical viewing? Not both are in practice. We have people that show just video for closing. We also have people that just want to do physical viewing. Both are practicing at this moment. We are doing that. Okay. And then Julia say, how we know if owner agreed to co-living? Oh, just ask on polite, no? Just go through the agent, ask them, hey, whether your this owner, esteemed owner, is okay with co-living. If they're okay, then we can just talk about it and see whether we can rent it from them with the permissions. Lau, Ju say, co-living sharing may not be feasible in Malaysia as we have problem with demands and surplus vacant properties. Okay, no problem. So this is a very good topic. Why people are also talking about, hey, there's a lot of supply, all right, in Malaysia. So in Malaysia, I don't share of how I run it in like Singapore. Singapore, I can go and find owners, and then I can do one by one unit takeover, not a problem. But in Malaysia, hey, you cannot use the method I use in Singapore and then go into Malaysia, then you have a problem. So in Malaysia itself, I do direct with developers. I took over the whole units, and my renters are very, very attractive, which is why the price and everything is attractive for us to grow. And there is a checklist that you need to follow on. You cannot anyhow hantam take a unit, cannot. You must really, really go through the checklist and which you need to go through. There's a point system. With that, then we will take the units one. So this is not in JB. In fact, we are doing quite good. Actually, very good. Yeah, as of now. All right. Then say, if I have a property, is it better to get agents to rent or through a platform, which is better? All right. If you want better cash flow, I will suggest that co-living will better ROI in shorts, because you have more higher rental in overall as compared to lease to a single tenants. Okay, let me go back to Q&A. Anikan say, are there session 1, 2 also webinar session? Yes. This session 1 and 2, yes. Session 1 and session 2, they are the same, but it's more in-depth. I will share about numbers, about more details what is going on.
I think she's asking whether, if I'm not mistaken, is that whether both are the same session or is that a continuation of session 1 plus session 2? I believe it's the same session, right? So it's just, yeah. So you choose either dates, either 17 or 19. Yeah, it's not a continuation of session 1 and then session 2. Yeah, so it's the same thing. So you choose either one date, you are free to attend the session. Okay, Anikan?
Correct. That is correct. Hey, thanks for addressing this thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right. I then say also apply to 1 bedroom. No. That is a checklist one. Not all units can use one. There is checklist which you need to use and all this thing. We can also share a bit more in the sharing session itself. SG Lee, is there a customized apps just for co-living for your organization? No. Here I'm not here to promote my organization. I'm more to really share with everybody that you can actually also do co-living as a very strong hustle. Meaning that you can actually build co-livings in your extra spare time. And if one co-living give you 1,002, then how can you build and scale up? That is the main gist of sharing. It's not here to promote what everything I'm doing. No, it's really
Maybe
sharing.
this means that a lot of people here are property owner, have a private property, have many rooms. They want to share. They want to rent out their rooms.
I would love to support that, no problem. But I think as a spirit of how I communicate with MarketWise, right, is really about sharing the journey. All right, I'll keep it to that first so that we can share more values to everybody. Okay. Then hold on.
Anita, overseas property
Anita.
will also be shared during this session.
Oh, Anita, no, overseas property I won't touch. I only do it in Singapore. I just touch about Singapore because if not, the session can go into days already. You know, in overseas, we do very interesting approach. In UK, for example, in UK, we took over the whole buildings from commercial. We reapplied the license to convert it into residential and make it into 18 units. All right, so from 18 units, we increase valuations and then we list it out. So there's a very different approach than how we do it in UK. UK, we bought it, but in Singapore, it's all rent to rent, so much easier. Okay, it's all about rent to rent. It's much easier from there. Okay, Anita. Chloe, hey, is this not subletting? Is it illegal? All right, first thing, all right, subletting it is legit with the permissions of landlords. So keywords, landlord must approve first. If landlord say okay to you, you are okay to sublet. And this is only applicable to private properties. But if you go to HDB, HDB you can't. Because HDB already stated clearly, we are not the owner. We are just someone that leases the properties from HDB. And we cannot rent from someone else and then sublet again. It cannot be sublet. So HDB cannot. So it's only in private properties. In private properties, owners say, go ahead, then you can do it. It must be black and white written. Then this is not illegal. Okay? Jeff, can only sublet max 6. As of now, any private property, you can do up to 6 packs. However, with the latest extension plans by the URA, if your size is more than 90 square meter, you can apply for the approval up to 8 packs. And then you pay a $20 admin fee, and you will come and give it to you to eight people. Actually, if you take a look at this thing, it's actually a good sign. Because last time when you keep into 6 packs, right, it means that then the rooms is going to be very, very expensive. Which is why all this thing is a good sign where it comes to into co-living space to get supported. So that our foreigners friends who come to Singapore, they find that at least the room rentals are manageable. If not, if it's too expensive, then it'll be very challenging to get them to be attracted to work in Singapore or study in Singapore. So this is really good things that's coming. Okay, all good? No, not really. All right, Jeff, it depends on how you can do it. There's a guideline. There's also approval that you have to submit, right, Jeff? So it really depends on how this thing can be done. There is a process of guideline that we need to bite on. Okay, so hopefully in the upcoming sharing, I will be able to share more details. Things that I didn't cover, I'll be able to cover with you more.
One personal question from me. So for the co-living, right, in the property, right? So you are letting out the whole unit or just like 1 or 2 rooms only?
In co-living space, we are only doing room rental, not the whole units.
Okay. So it can be one unit, but he's only living inside the 1 room. Is that right?
Yes. Usually we do that.
I see.
Packs, 1 room. Usually we do that. Unless it's a master bedroom, then 2 packs they share into 1. Usually couple.
So there might be maybe, for example, 2 renters, so they live inside the whole same unit, but they share all the kitchen, you know, the toilet together lah. Is that what you mean?
Yes, it's like, you know, recently there is a very popular is about co-working space, right? People share offices. So this thing is like exactly the same thing. They share a common space like the living hall, the kitchens, the common bathroom, they share. So that once the economy of sharing came in, right, the cost of running is lower. So this thing becomes popular for that. And as long as owners don't stay there, this is the number one things that they want.
I see. So then you have the team, right, to come up to their houses or the rooms to clean up their houses and the toilet, for example lah. That's where your in-house all the staff will come in.
Correct. That's for us lah. But in general, when I share with community, right, sharing with them how it can be done, actually they are doing all by themselves. They can do their own, build their own. When I first started, my wife and myself, we can easily manage about 20 over units, right? Not a problem. It's only when we want to improvise the whole process, we decided to run as an enterprise. Now, if not, actually 20 over units is really not bad already. The cash flow is really quite okay one. Yeah. So yeah, lor. So it depends on what each individual want. They can actually scale up from there.
How about insurance from Vincent?
Insurance, no problem, Vincent. Insurance itself, owners will buy. Usually they'll buy the fire insurance, third-party insurance. They'll usually have it already. We didn't really do it on our end. Right? Actually, dual key units better for these co-living units? Not really. Dual key are good for one studio, and the other ones usually is like 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, or maybe a 1-bedroom. So dual key is really perhaps cater for a lot of them for investment. It could be their own stay, then they want to rent out one studio to collect some rental. Not really dual key means it's good for co-living. Not really. Okay, so this is based on experience. Whatever thing I shared is my 5 years of experience on the ground, and I hope that it gives you some insights. Grace, is it always smooth and no dispute among tenants? All right, if I tell you no dispute, then I'm probably lying to you. Sure got dispute one. I mean, this is living habits. But I want to share with you based on my experience. First month is always the forming the equilibrium journey. After first month, right, actually things will be better already. Why do I say 1 month? Because 1 month, each of the tenant will know about each other patterns. What time do they go out? What time do they use the bathroom? They'll find the equilibriums. And then usually, then you will be okay. Then you will start running. But if you have like me, 500 units one, every day do you have issue? Sure have issue one. I have light bulb spoil and all these things. But I start to run as an enterprise, so it's a bit different. When I start to build it up into a bigger figures business. So at the first few units, I did mention that 1 unit, you probably need 1 hour a week to put it as an effort. Yeah, so you ask yourself, if 1 week, 1 hour per unit makes sense for you, then co-living will be for you. How to resolve? Is just very straight ahead approach. All right. For example, like people don't like each other, don't worry, just go and find out. Just drop them a text. And eventually, if there's one people that's really got problem one, then usually I will ask the person to go. But it's very rare. It's very rare. So far, I have about a few cases, about 3 or 4 cases that's in this situation after 5 years. Very rare.
Okay, that lead into another question in the Q&A tab. How do you manage the tenant mix?
Tenant mix. Good questions. In co-living space, right? At 99% of my units, we are all gender okay one, meaning male, female, they all stay together. But there are 1% of the property that we do only female only. So we also do testing. We also do testing of whether female only is it a better room rental because they felt that it's more safe. However, after running a while, doesn't really help a lot. So in the end, a mix is still better. So which is why it's 99% we mix. Yeah. So male, female, students, working professionals all together.
Okay, so any other questions? So I don't see any questions so far in the Q&A tab and also in the chat. All right, so if you guys, okay, can take down the QR code, scan the QR code and join the session, either session 1 or session 2. So both are the same session. So you just choose the date that you prefer, or you can go on the 17th of September or the 19th of September, okay, on a Tuesday or a Thursday next week, okay, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Okay, Win, do you mind if you just post it? Yes, thank you so much, Win.
No problem. Jeff say, female only for a period, the house will go cui, cost lot of hair. You know, guy also got hair, man. All right. No, I mean, female have their good, I would say, most of the female environments, they will tends to be more neat in general. More neat in general. But okay lah, overall quite okay, man. I don't have a much challenge for that. Okay? All good?
All right, so I think seems like we have answered most of the questions. So if you have any other question or you want to really know more about co-living, which I think Ernie did a wonderful job introducing co-living to MarketWise Asia and our community. So I suggest that you head over to the link posted, okay, and also scan the QR code and attend either the 17th or 19th of September, okay. Any last words for the audience, Ernie?
Not really, but I think they are very supportive. Thanks for giving me the warm welcome to come in here so that I don't feel cold. So thanks for giving me all the energy for replying all these things. Really.
Yeah, and also thanks, Ernie, for the wonderful sharing. So before that, I also didn't really know much about co-living. So your very brief introduction, okay, has skilled me up a little bit on understanding about co-living already. So once again, I will also post last chance the link in the comments. Head over to the link and either choose one of the dates, 17 or 19, Tuesday or Thursday, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. So once again, thank you, Ernie, for your sharing tonight. And we will see you guys, okay, in either on the 17th or 19th of September. Once again, thanks so much. And thanks, Ernie. Have a good evening, guys. And I'll see you guys again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care, man. Take care. Bye-bye.